A power drill is chewing through my gun safe. My heart hammers as I watch the basement feed on the security monitor. Two fake HOA cops just forced their way in, cutting into the safe that holds $80. 000 worth of antique rifles. They think we fled. Wrong. Riley Carter is still there, my gentle, third-grade teacher wife, standing in the shadows and studying them like lab rats. Her face is focused, calculated, dangerous. That's the moment it hits me. I don't really know everything about the woman I married. We moved into Maple Ridge Estates 6 months ago, chasing that suburban dream. Manicured lawns, identical mailboxes, neighbors who wave. Riley teaches at the local elementary school. I work IT from home. Life was boring in the best way. Weekend coffee, Netflix runs, easy routines. My pride and joy was my grandfather's collection. 5 Korean War-era rifles, appraised at 80 grand. Not just weapons, history. I kept them in a Browning safe, half a ton, bolted to the slab like Fort Knox. The insurance packet could choke a horse. Riley humored my museum, smiling while I rambled. I didn't realize she was filing away every detail. Then Cat Lewis arrived like a suburban fairy godmother, HOA president, owner of 3 nail salons, pristine white Mercedes with KT1 plates, and that practiced, disarming smile. Antique firearms, she said, eyes homing in on the cabinet. My late husband collected. Items like these require careful preservation. She asked about models, values, storage, security. I was flattered someone cared. Riley listened, quiet, teacher calm, but afterward she said, she asked very specific questions for small talk. I shrugged it off. Wish I hadn't. Over the next weeks, Kat dropped by for coffee, always drifting toward the gun cabinet. Always probing. Our schedule, our cameras, whether we traveled. It was reconnaissance in a cardigan. Riley's answers got guarded. She watched Kat the way she grades, hunting for mistakes. 3 weeks in, I saw Kat at the curb speaking with a uniformed officer. They gestured at angles of our house like they were mapping an assault. He took notes. I told myself it was community. Safety stuff. That night, sleep wouldn't come. Words floated back. Valuable collection. Security concerns. At 2 a.m., a black pickup crawled past our house for the 3rd time at 5 miles per hour. Phones glowing in the cab. They stopped, snapped photos, moved, snapped again. Systematic. Surveillance. I fumbled my phone, too late. They were gone. I stared into the dark, debating whether to wake Riley, call the police, or pretend it was nothing. Deep down, I knew it was the first act of something bigger. Wednesday afternoon, Riley met me at the door, calm face, careful voice. We have visitors. Kat brought Officer Brandon Cole to discuss community safety. Brandon Cole looked like a casting call. Crisp uniform, clipped authority. His questions were anything but routine. Safe specs, alarm tiers, our exact comings and goings. Enhanced safety assessments for collectors, he said. Kat and Cole traded lines like a rehearsed duet. When I asked for a badge number, Kat cut in with specialized unit jargon. When Riley asked about authority, Cole referenced policy. Official enough to a casual ear, too perfect to be real. After they left, I stayed up reading. Texas gun laws, federal regs, police protocols. Everything he'd said skirted legal lines, but reeked of manipulation. Real cops don't cold call collectors for storage audits. Real HOA presidents don't coordinate enforcement. Real safety programs don't ask when we leave and how long we're gone. By morning, Riley had something worse. 7 families, she said, all collectors, all relocated. Within 6 months. The pattern was impossible to ignore. Targeted questioning, pressure from a fake authority, escalating urgency. It wasn't overzealous neighbors. It was an operation. The next night, Kat called with manufactured panic. Brandon says it's urgent. Reports came in overnight. We need to address this today to avoid community tensions. Classic pressure tactics. Fake urgency, invented consequences, force immediate compliance. Riley listened to my end of the call and shook her head. That's a script. We mapped the pattern. Assessment disguised as friendliness, authority pressure, threats, coerced sales at a fraction of value. It was extortion dressed as compliance. Kat and Cole weren't helpers. They were predators. At 3 a.m. Friday, a text arrived. We know you're researching us. Big mistake. Photos followed. our backyard, our bedroom window, close-ups of plates. They wanted us rattled and compliant. They miscalculated. By 10, the show arrived. Cole in costume-grade tactical gear, backed by Deputy Tyler Brooks, hired muscle in a duty belt. Their choreography was flawless, too flawless. I said conversationally, "Funny thing, your department has no record of you or this program." Spoke with supervisors and internal affairs. Nothing on Brandon Cole or enhanced collector assessments. Kat pivoted instantly. Specialized units aren't listed publicly for operational security. Officer Cole, explain your authorization. The handoff was so perfect it was damning. Bureaucracy never moves that cleanly. Riley went surgical. Chain of command, documentation standards, routine procedure, stuff real cops answer in their sleep. Cole deflected. They left soon after, brittle smiles cracking. I wanted to run. Riley didn't. She guided me to the safe, entered a secondary code I didn't know existed, and opened a hidden compartment. Her Marine Corps photos and discharge papers. Plus a fat dossier. Riley Carter became Riley, Corporal, U.S. Marine Corps Military Police, 6 years active duty. The folder held surveillance shots of Cole, audio clips, a copy of Kat's salon client. List with military families highlighted, financials tracing coerced sell-offs. While I panicked, she'd been building a case. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. I didn't want to be that person. Again, she said. But they chose us. Her assessment was clinical. Cole sloppy. Kat predictable. Brooks bulk, not skill. She'd mapped their routes, cataloged gear, coordinated with a reel. Detective, and prepped countermeasures. That afternoon, our motion alerts pinged. 3 vehicles, Riley said, eyes hard. They're moving early. She called Kat and put on a performance. Reluctant cooperation, insurance-friendly language, compliance tonight. I hissed, why surrender? She shook her head. If we call now, they vanish. I want the whole network. We transformed the house. Riley set sight lines, cover, and comms. I rigged decoys, delayed video feeds, redirected camera angles, staged audio upstairs while she controlled the basement. She wanted information. Superiority. I could give her that. At 11:58 p.m., sensors tripped in sequence. 6 individuals entered with pro-grade equipment. Thermal shows the safe, I whispered. They have serious gear. Let them work, Riley said. We control sight, sound, timing. They drilled. Steele screamed. While they attacked the door, Riley used the hidden access to secure the evidence kit. 10 minutes later, the safe opened. They handled my grandfather's rifles like inventory. Congratulations, gentlemen, Riley said, stepping from the dark. You've just become the stars of a very thorough documentary. Every lens lit up. Cole froze. Brooks went pale, rifles in hand, the worst prop imaginable. Everything tonight is on multiple independent feeds, Riley continued. Your surveillance, coordinated entry, theft of items valued at $80,000, and specialized burglary equipment. Sirens crescendoed outside. Real law enforcement moved in, Detective Mason Reed at point. Building secured, all exits covered, suspects in custody, he said, crisp and professional. He nodded to Riley. Outstanding work, ma'am. Your evidence supports federal conspiracy charges. Then his radio crackled, and his face tightened. Problem. Kat Lewis isn't at the salon. She pulled cash yesterday, shuttered operations this morning, last seen heading for the interstate around noon. 6-hour head start, maybe more. The ringleader had planned her escape. We'd captured the crew and the crime, but the architect had slipped the net. Don't worry, Detective Reed said. We'll light up interstate partners and financial crimes. With this evidence, Kat just made herself a priority fugitive. By Sunday morning, Kat executed Plan B, propaganda. From a new location, she streamed a polished video as concerned HOA president, painting us as dangerous extremists with illegal weapons who attacked community volunteers. The chat filled with sympathy. Riley was ready. Using separate infrastructure, she counter-streamed, clean, time-stamped, unedited evidence. Break-in footage, Kat coordinating with Cole, the client list targeting military. Families, financials showing undervalued sales. Comments flipped in real time. Wait, that's the actual break-in. She's running a scam. Call the feds. For the first time, Kat's mask cracked. On camera. No, this isn't. Let me explain, but it was over. Viewers watched as officers entered the frame behind her. The arrest, hands behind back, rights read, facade shattered, went viral in minutes. 3 months later, peace felt new. We sat on our porch in Maple Ridge Estates, coffee steaming, morning sprinklers hissing. The network was dismantled, sentences handed down. Our elderly neighbor toddled by with a smile. "The new HOA board voted to honor you both," she said. Riley answered softly. "We were just neighbors helping neighbors." I looked at her, my wife. My guardian, my strategist. She squeezed my hand. "The most dangerous people often look harmless," Riley said. Cat Lewis learned that too late. Real safety doesn't come from fear, it comes from people who choose peace and stay ready to defend it. That night, I stood in the basement, the Browning safe pitted from drills but whole. The rifles were back, tagged for a museum loan detective. Mason Reed helped arrange, no more soft targets. I checked our cameras out of habit. No black trucks, no slow crawls, just quiet. We didn't move. We didn't sell. We reclaimed our street. And when the doorbell rang, an actual neighbor, holding brownies and a welcome form from the new board, we smiled and opened the door. The scam was over. The predators were gone. Riley, Carter, teacher, Marine, wife, had ended it with patience, evidence, and precision. This time, the ending was clear. The good guys stayed, the bad guys left in cuffs, and Maple Ridge Estates finally became the safe neighborhood it pretended to be.